Open your eyes, because FSR is going to be on Samsung.
Cover your eyes because NFTs are attacking.
And open them again, because Apple has really fast graphics. They're crazy fast.
Good for them.
It's a big deal. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. Kyler, you had a long break. You showed up for like 1, maybe 2 episodes and disappeared.
I got sick. I licked the graphics card.
That's exactly what happened. I know it's tempting. I know it's looking at you all sensually over there, but you should probably put it back down. All right, we're going to jump on into the first story, which is talking about how there's reports coming out that FSR, or Fidelity FX Super Resolution, which helps to make graphics look better to your eyeballs while running at a faster frame rate.
As opposed to what?
You could make it look better at a slower frame rate.
I meant the eyeballs.
Oh. This is allegedly going to be coming out for both Samsung and Qualcomm SoCs that happen on mobile phones.
Sorry, I've been here for 2 minutes and I've already disrupted everything.
I didn't know there was a lot more.
That really confused me.
Now, this is a question that's been asked for quite a while, ever since it was known that AMD was going to be on Samsung chips, since they do have that in the Exynos side of things. I'm just curious, what games do you need this for? Is it really just Call of Duty Mobile that like you're trying to run at 60 FPS and you can't on your Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra?
I feel like it's very standardized Android gaming.
Genshin Impact not going fast enough for you?
Yeah, I just don't see this being used, but maybe this opens the door for more intensive Android gaming.
Well, especially now that Apple has opened the door for iOS gaming, especially on things like Resident Evil, etc. on the A17 Pro. Maybe this is the new wave. Speaking of the wave, I want to throw something out that maybe you didn't know. Turns out that a lot of the rest of the world, including South Africa, you know the wave that you do in like a football stadium?
Yeah.
They call it the Mexican wave. They play like a little diddly right beforehand, and then everybody does it. And I was like, because Reece was like, oh, they're doing the Mexican wave. And I was like, what? Turns out they call it the Mexican wave because they first discovered it during the World Cup that happened in Mexico. They would play that little tune and then everybody would do the wave. So a lot of the rest of the world knows it as the Mexican wave, whereas Americans just call it the wave. You can Google this. It's real.
Why are you talking about this?
You said wave for some reason. I don't know. I'm going to wave goodbye to talking about that because we want to talk about MediaTek now, who's talking about how they have the flagship mobile smartphone besides Apple. Let's not talk about them. They're going to beat Qualcomm at its own game with the Dimensity 9300 because get this, it's an all big core architecture. But not only does it have big cores, it has ultra large cores.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. This is like when Intel rebranded from i7 to i9. It's the same thing. You're just calling it something else.
These companies just like to make up words, names, whatever.
Well,
nothing matters.
You can feel good knowing that you have a big Cortex, 4 ultra-large cores and 4 big cores, compared to Qualcomm's pathetic single ultra-large core with 5 big cores. So in practicality, what this is going to mean, it's 15% more performance at the same power level, or 40% more peak performance, and in its Antutu benchmark, it beat out the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Additionally, also a 46% jump in GPU performance, which again, what are you gaming on your phone with that you need all this performance? I literally take pictures with my phone. Subway Surfers? Do you need 120, 240?
Listen, guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but Subway Surfers came out a long time ago. It's not that intensive.
Well, in case you're using your laptop for intensive tasks like your ASUS one, and you're finding out it's not cooling down as much as you would like, and it has liquid metal on it, don't worry, they'll freely replace the liquid metal on those laptops if you live in China only. So this is specifically if you live in mainland China, purchase a laptop within the last year, and your heat dissipation module is not working the way that you want, they will replace it free of charge to make it better.
So liquid metal can get real sticky inside.
Right, you wouldn't want to do it.
What?
You wouldn't want to replace the liquid metal.
Not that I wouldn't want to replace it if it wasn't working properly, but I feel like if something went wrong with your liquid metal, are they helping you replace the interior components that may have been damaged by it?
I don't think this is if it's squished out and splurtered everywhere. This is if let's say the liquid metal wasn't evenly applied and it's getting like hot spots in one part where there isn't as much liquid metal, they would re-paste it for you, because if you went in and put liquid metal on it,
then I might spill it.
Then yeah, because you're trying to drink it, it falls out of your cup. It's a whole big mess.
All right.
Speaking of fast laptops, Intel wants you to know, at least according to their latest Asia event, that their 14th gen laptops are incoming. They're gonna have those. Additionally, they're gonna have the 65-watt CPU models for desktop, meaning things like the i5-14400 should be coming out sometime soon. We're getting the HX laptop chips in the 14th gen, making it so that they'll compete with AMD in the 7945X X3D. And then also, it turns out that they're getting new China custom CPUs as well, which bothered me last time because I don't know if you remember this. They came out with the i5-13490F and the 13790F, and I believe there was one more, but they're the black edition CPUs. They don't come in a blue box, and they're faster.
Why? Why do they do this?
Because China's a huge market. It makes sense. They get the binned high-end stuff, and we get the regular stuff.
Let's go to China.
Yeah?
Road trip.
I need to renew my passport. It's been a decade since I got mine. But while we're expecting Intel to announce all of those chips at CES, turns out the rumors are coming out that the Super Series for the RTX 40 line of cards is going to be coming out CES.
I like the word super. That's one of the weird words that I like.
Which one's one of the normal words that you like? All right, Reece, save us from this with deals.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet, and happy Tuesday, everyone. Today we're starting off with the ASRock B660M Pro RS LJ1700 Micro ATX motherboard going for only $89.99, making it $30 off. But then next up we have EK Waterblock's 360mm AIO Elite CPU liquid cooler going for only $99.99, making it $111 off. But also we have this MSI Ventus GeForce RTX 4060 Ti 8GB variant going for $349.99 with the included promo code and a $20 rebate, making your total off $50. And as an honorable mention, we have the EcoFlow River 2 portable power station, which honestly keeps my life running here in South Africa. I actually have the Delta variant, but EcoFlow has been a lifesaver, and I saw this and I thought some of you might actually enjoy this. And with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to the other guys for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Wow, Reece, what a great deal. Here's a terrible deal for you. Number one, you bought an NFT.
Couldn't be me.
Which NFTs do you have?
I have...
Do you have an NFT?
No, I don't have an NFT.
Okay, because
I've taken a lot of screenshots of NFTs in my time.
Well, if you didn't screenshot the Bored Ape NFT and actually held the original, well then you got invited to the Yuga Labs NFT event, which happened to give people severe eye problems. At least 15 people indicating that they got welder's eye from staring at the UV lights that they had on stage. So not only do you have what is an unamused hominid, you also have cornea damage potentially.
Weird pictures of monkeys make eye hurt.
With some of the attendees urging the rest of the attendees, please go get your eyes checked out, because if you do have welder's eye, you could potentially have a series of complications down the line in case things don't get treated. Bored Ape Yacht Club came out and said, essentially, we're trying to find the root causes, and less than 1% of those attending and working the event had these symptoms. So just downplaying, just saying, hey, we'll look into it, and not taking a ton of responsibility for what's going on. But I think the best response to this was, here, fix the post for you.
They can't see. I did read that people compared this to another incident that happened a couple years ago, also in Hong Kong, and it was because they were using lights at the event that were originally meant for disinfectant purposes.
Oh!
And people are speculating that maybe somehow they used the wrong lights that were just like basically tanning people all night.
Ooh, fun! Because you're supposed to wear those little goggles in the tanning booth.
Yeah,
I never knew.
Those.
They just wanted people to not be able to see how ugly these Bored Apes are, is essentially what happened.
I hope, and you know, people got hurt bad, right? But I hope in hindsight that the reason ends up being the actual pictures of the apes.
Burnt their eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
NFTs are harmful.
Well, one of the things that crushed the NFT wave was the wave of AI that came out, and OpenAI had their dev day yesterday talking about some new improvements that are going to be coming out to it. Number one, they're releasing GPT-4 Turbo, which is better than GPT-4, and more importantly, it's cheaper.
Wow.
It's a big, I mean, it's 3 times cheaper per input token and 2 times cheaper per output token, and it's also allegedly better according to whatever metrics they have.
Wasn't GPT-3 better, and then it started saying math wrong?
Yes, it did regress in some ways, but they have something that they're going to bring out to help you fix Bad math.
Is it the turbo?
No, it's new GPTs. You could get your own custom AI assistant, and they're going to be launching a GPT store where you can actually buy these little assistants that OpenAI kind of is funneling all of their technology into these little personalities. This used to be a thing that you could custom make before, but it was a pain in the butt to do, and now it's going to be like loaded ones like writing coach or sous chef or math mentor, where it's like focused in on what it's trying to do for you, or sticker whiz, where it can actually create die cut stickers shaped right for whatever you're trying to make.
That's interesting. Two things.
Yes.
I can't wait for every mobile app to incorporate just a generic version of one of these inside of it. And also, I already had one of these. His name was Mongo Tom, and they took it away from me.
It would be hilarious if like the number one selling AI personality was Mongo Tom. They likely will not allow you to do that, but you can also build your own AI person, AI thing, AI personality thing. What do we call? I don't know, because all you have to do is have a casual conversation with it, being like, I want you to be a sassy pants, and that's all you're ever gonna be.
Is that what you go to GPT for?
No, I don't. I don't go to GPT-4 for anything.
Not yet.
Well, it turns out that people weren't going to AI for game development until right now. Turns out Xbox is partnering with In-World AI to bring generative AI into game development through their multi-platform AI toolset, alongside putting it into Microsoft's cloud server for game development that's happening. And also, they're partnering with In-World, but In-World's tools can be used by other game devs. It doesn't have to be used by only Microsoft Studios, so it's gonna save you time and resources, because their code pilots can take the seeds of your creative ideas and transform them into detailed scripts, complete with dialogue trees, quests, and more. So next time, in like 2 to 3 years, when like games start getting finished, where they start using these tools, we're gonna see like all of these branching pathways that they were like, I didn't even know that was in there. The AI put that in there. Oopsie, that's why the game's not finished the way you want.
This doesn't seem like a good idea. This seems like some problematic stuff is gonna slip through the cracks.
Oh.
And developers are gonna be like, oopsie, oopsie doopsie.
It was the AI that did that. Well, I can tell you they're not gonna be running all of these AI on this brand new GPU company anytime soon. But this is a big deal regardless of performance, because Loonsong is coming out with its own GPU by 2025. Now, they are saying that it's gonna be the equivalent of an RX 550, which right now is 6 years old. By then, it'll be 8 years old. So performance-wise, this isn't a big deal. But as part of the Chinese GPU domestication efforts that have been going on for the last little while, we've seen more threads come out, and Osilicon's coming out, Biren's coming out. There have been multiple attempts of China to create domestic level GPUs that can potentially, at one point, someday in the tippity-toppity future, compete with Intel's worst graphics card that you can find on an integrated GPU. And that's exactly what should be happening here when they launch it in Q3 of 2024. You gotta start somewhere.
I like it. I think it's cool.
Do you want one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about another GPU company who started real fast and is beating everybody else. You'll never guess who it is.
Is it Intel?
No, it keeps the doctor away. And Discord's trying to keep the malware away by making sure that if you share a link off platform to any file that's hosted by Discord, that link expires within 24 hours to make sure that it can't be used as a repository for harmful files that...
Nefarious acts.
Exactly.
that was it. That was the whole story.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. It was just they're changing their link sharing policy, which is a good thing. And Apple's changing its policy on the 27-inch iMac. Just kidding, it's not, because it actually hasn't released one of these in a while, and they've come out and said that they're not gonna.
Their policy is, we don't do this no more.
24-inch iMacs, that's all you get. Take it or leave it. But yesterday, a lot of reviews came out on the new M3, M3 Pro, and M3 Ultra Max that got launched, both in the iMac as well as the new MacBook Pros. And it turns out these things are wild. They are both underwhelming. If you got the M3 Pro, I'm sorry, you bought something new for no reason, because it's the exact same as the M2 Pro. Not a whole lot there. But the M3 chip is actually quite good. But I want to show you some benchmarks from Dave2D's video on the M3 Max chip. So looking at Apple's highest end graphical chip that they have right now, look at how close that gets to an RTX 4080 laptop. 39 points off, less than 10%.
That's really cool for the 3 games that'll work on it.
Well, it's not just games. Obviously, like the whole point of the MacBook Pro is that you get GPU acceleration in things like Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve. He goes on to show some Blender benchmarks. It does really, really well at things that are GPU accelerated. CPU-wise, there's not a ton that's been upgraded here, but GPU-wise, it's absolutely insane. However, if you look at some of the other benchmarks, what you find out is that the battery life on these things are incredible, because here's what I want people to imagine. The best of all possible worlds, right? Apple finally takes game development seriously, which they've been showing that they're going to. You can run most of your Steam library on your Macs, but it's not like a Windows laptop, where as soon as you unplug it, you better get to a wall within 45 minutes or your battery is going to be drained. And if you try to play a game while you're on battery, it's absolutely crap and slow as heck.
Yeah, I would like to see they're starting to incorporate the Mac titles on iOS to see like a Mac chip inside of a dedicated gaming handheld.
Whew. Oh, you're taking it like a few years from now when they're finally doing that.
I'm thinking
you want the Apple Newton with like an M4 gaming chip.
Yeah, I want something that's like the size and weight of a Switch, which is essentially what Apple would come out with, is something super low profile that has good battery life and can actually perform well.
You want an iPad mini with a controller. Well, speaking of the battery life, people checked out the M3 14-inch MacBook Pro. It got 26 hours and 45 minutes of watching a movie. Not doing nothing. It was watching a movie. That's crazy. But then also Dave 2D showing off the battery life on the M3 Max chip. When under heavy load, it did 2.5 hours. And while under light load, it did almost 9 hours. If you were using a Windows laptop with a 4080 in that, your 2 hours and 34 minutes is no load. If you do nothing, maybe a little web browsing, you get 2.5 hours. And then you're gonna get 45 minutes to an hour if you're trying to do any sort of heavy load. You're getting, honestly, the best of all possible worlds besides software support with Apple. And then also if you happen to, get your USB-C port wet, they'll say that you killed it by getting it wet, and so they won't replace it for you. Well, let's talk about yesterday's episode of Hot News and comment response.
I know nothing about it.
Okay, Shuna said, finally, AMD competing on laptops. Now we just need more mobile CPUs to compete against Intel ones, especially with more of those little cores. Guess what Apple just did? They're doing it. It's just a software issue at this point. Origin Unknown said, Reece, the Deal Master returns to show me stuff I still can't afford. Nice to have you back, Reece. Did you know he was in yesterday's episode of Hot News?
Not specifically, but I kind of assumed because he said he was coming back today.
Okay. AJ Tech Talk says, the news feels so dull without his beloved co-host. Brett is so much more enthusiastic when he has someone. That hurts a little bit.
I think you just get excited to have somebody around.
It's just easier to talk to a person than it is a camera.
Yeah.
That's because I'm bad at being a YouTuber. Anyways, Dread Pirate says, nice to see Reece back on some deals. Hope the universe lets him come back to the States to co-host for a while again sometime. Nope. The Chad said, OMG, I had no idea about the HDMI thing that GPUs lack. It makes so much sense now. I have a super long HDMI cable that runs through the walls from my PC to my TV on the other side of the room. It's absolutely unreliable, but if I hook up other stuff to it, it works fine. So I just know it's not because the HDMI cable is too long, and I've tried with a lot of PCs and GPUs. Makes so much sense now. Yeah, it's a good thing to learn. HDMI retimer.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
You should watch Hot News. So should you if you had no idea what I was responding to. Jay Brown says, I live in a high humidity area and I've seen electronic devices get, or at least say, water damage with no actual water touching it. Apple basically banning some states and cities from getting repaired. People are not happy about the USB-C detecting water leakage.
Skill issue.
You gotta suck the humidity out of the air away from your ports. King Stracillion said, shout out to whoever else saw the 7900 XTX being sold on Amazon yesterday for $530. Stumbled upon that deal yesterday. I was parting out my next build. Was quite annoyed that I didn't have the money for it. And I was gonna respond to this, but don't worry, everybody else in our community got it. It's a scam. If you ever find a graphics card on Amazon that is being sold ridiculously low price, you better believe either number one, a misprice and your order is going to get canceled, or more importantly and more nefariously, it is a scam. It is a seller who's just going to take your money and ship you something that you didn't want, and then hope that like one person doesn't report them, because then they get to keep the money.
They're gonna send you like something random.
They're gonna send you a piece of chia off of Chitsa John.
Or
yeah,
it's just gonna be like a 580 motherboard just with the heatsink on top of it. Or we've seen this, no board at all, just the heatsink.
Just the heatsink. Zach Hoy said, I hate to admit that the OG Fortnite map indeed got me back into Fortnite for a bit. So much memberberry.
I want to complain about the OG Fortnite map for a second.
Okay, I was gonna ask, did you get back into it?
Played it over the weekend. Maybe I'm just too old for it, and I know I'm younger than everybody watching, okay, whatever. But these kids in their building in Fortnite, it's terrible. The best thing they ever did in that game was take out the building, and it's impossible to play the OG map without building. I mean, you can, it is possible. It is just noticeably worse because you weren't meant to not build. It's bad. It's worse. It's all nostalgia. You want to complain about nostalgia? This is it. This is silly. And also, why are we nostalgic for something that happened 7 years ago?
5.
It's only been 5 years.
It's only been 5 years, not 7.
It hasn't been that long. I keep seeing TikToks of people that's like, it's 2 dudes and they're like, we're not dropping back in on OG Fortnite. These guys are. And it's their like 5-year-old kids. And I'm like, it wasn't that long ago, guys.
Speaking of building in Fortnite and children, I was watching my oldest son was playing, and I said, hey, I need you to pause your game. And I know you can't pause online games, doesn't matter. He goes, yep, no problem. Builds himself a fort, like just goes in like half a second, and he's like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I was like, what?
That's these kids.
I don't even know how to do that, let alone do it as quickly as you just did.
They're built different. I don't know what, like they learn it so young. It's
just
like
in their
learning
blood.
how to write in cursive or something. They just do it.
Richard Farmer said, great to see Reece. Hope all is good in South Africa. Seraphin saying, can we talk about how horrible Elon's AI name is? I mean, Bard was pretty bad, but this takes the cake.
What is it, Grok?
Do you know what grok means?
I just know Baby Gronk and how he's risen up Livy Dunn in Ohio.
What?
Skibbity.
Oh, is Baby Gronk that kid whose dad is basically like just begging everybody to post him on social media?
Yeah, he's the best sports kid.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, grok means to understand. It's like, you know the word sonder?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like a weird word to describe like emotional states of being.
I just thought it was a stupid name.
It kind of. Anyway, Seraphin continues on to saying, also, who hasn't been dreaming of having an AI fed by Twitter posts?
Sorry, didn't Microsoft already do this?
They
And
sure
it ended
did.
really badly?
Little Tay, or Taybot, whatever the heck it was called. I'm no Reddit user, but I could see Reddit being more useful than this. I agree. I actually think if you were going to build it off of the transcripts of what humans are writing to each other, Reddit makes way more sense. Twitter at this point is getting close to like short form 4chan.
Yeah.
And then just to complete out this post, also we know what Elon's promises are worth. I'm not going to list all the things he's hyped years before potential reasons. And it still sucked or is not even real yet. Flying Roadster, anyone? Do you remember that? So he talked about how the Roadster is supposed to have like little thrusters of CO2 that are going to boost you to have a 0 to 60 in an unimaginable amount of time. But theoretically, they could be transitioned instead of pointing out the back of the vehicle to make you go zoom, they can make you bunny hop a little bit.
Cool.
Sonomuse said, my friend found out that if you get that thing where YouTube starts blocking videos, if you have an ad blocker on, you can just go to the homepage, refresh, and they'll start playing again. I don't need to because I have YouTube Premium to support the creators I like, but I find it funny that something as simple as that would work. Oh, your friend found that out, did he, Sonomuse? Huh? That's what happened? You support the creators, huh?
You didn't have to post that.
You didn't have to tell us that, Sonomuse. Dominic says, where's the yummy Dealmaster hoodie, Brett? I need my Reece fix. So, okay, listen, I oopsied yesterday because I didn't see it on the set, and so I forgot about it. And then you know what happened today? I was like, I forgot it yesterday. I can't forget it today. And then
you did!
I put it on my chair, and I got Hot News ready, and then in the act of getting everything ready for you to be here, it fell off my chair and was sitting over here. And then halfway through the episode, I was like, ah, crap. So... clearly, I have to wear this 2 extra days into the new year because I have missed 2 days here on this side.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yeah, here's the hoodie. Stargunner said, Democrats don't play by their own rules. Don't know why he said that.
Yeah, what does that have to do with
I absolutely
anything?
have no idea. I just thought it funny. I just wanted to bring it up. Nicholas saying, Reece didn't get the memo that Kyler would not be there on Monday's episode. Jet lag's fault.
Oh no,
He segued to Brett and Kyler. That's what happened. Devin Cherry saying, I love Elon personally. No, you don't. You don't know Elon. You're a liar. You don't. What's his phone number, huh?
I mean personally.
What do you mean personally? You don't know this guy. Elon's never grokked you, and I hope he never does. And then we have Deonler saying, I saw Reece and legit teared up.
I had a weird dream about Reece last night.
Do you want to tell us?
I dreamed that he went back to South Africa and died. Freaking died. And then the next day, I came to work, and he was just here in the office. And nobody said anything. And that was a dream.
See you tomorrow.